Hello my friends, the film today is a true story about a great fighter who is one of the best and strongest fighter in the world that no one was able to defeat him. And the film begins in 1939, which is the date of Japanese occupation of Korea, and the great fighter Bidal sees posts saying that the Japanese army needs volunteers to learn at the Japanese flight school, and this is Bidal's dream since he was young. And Bidal migrates to Japan illegally, and on his way he meets Tsu, and he is also going to the same school. But when they get to the school, they discover that this was all a hoax, and they want them to carry out suicide operations. Bidal and his friend try to escape, but they catch them and tie them up. Meanwhile, an airstrike occurs on the place, and the planes fire on them. A group of police comes and grabs Bidal and his friend, and they try to kill Tsu. Bidal gets very angry and defends his friend. He hits the soldiers hard. The officer in charge of them sees him and likes Bidal's skills very much and challenges him in a battle, and a fierce battle begins between them. But the Japanese officer is much stronger than Bidal, but nevertheless Bidal can beat him, and the Japanese officer is shocked because of that and gets very angry and is about to kill Bidal, but leaves him at the last moment and lets them to escape. And the days pass, and we see Bidal and his friend continuing their lives in Japan and working in a place where people play gambling, and a gang of bad guys enter on them and hits Tsu and steal his money. But Bidal intervenes and helps his friend and beat them all, but because they were much more numerous than him, they beat Bidal and humiliate him. And we see that there is someone watching what is happening and interfering in their fight, and the head of the gang mocks him, but this person hits the whole gang very strongly. And we know that this person was a teacher of Bidal in the past, and his name is Bozmi, and he helps Bidal and Tsu and takes them to his place of work, where he works as a security guard in the circus. And Bidal asks him to teach him again because he wants to be strong like him. And Bozmi is very happy with him and gives him a book to learn karate and starts training him professionally. One day, Bidal sees a group of young men trying to assault a girl on the road and make love with her. And immediately, Bidal beats them all and saves the girl. Even though they were much more numerous than him, the girl admires Bidal's skills a lot and looks at him with love because he is her savior. But Bidal, the hero, is the savior of all girls who are assaulted by someone. Bidal becomes famous as the savior of the girls, but he also becomes wanted for justice. Then we see a samurai soldier come to Bidal and take him to the Japanese officer who challenged him in a battle a year ago, and the officer tells Bidal that he is very impressed with his courage and skills, and that he is the first person who could beat him in a battle, knowing that he was been training in karate since he was 5 years old. And Bidal returns to his friend and tells him what happened to him, and Tsu tells him that he saw the gang coming, and Bidal is shocked and runs immediately because he realized that they want revenge from his teacher, and this is what is really happening. And the gang has started its fight with Bozmi, the teacher of Bidal, and Bozmi manages to beat them, but they were much more numerous than him, and he fights them for a very long time. But in the end, they kill him, and Bidal arrives late and sees that his teacher is already dead. Bidal gets very angry and sees that he will take revenge and go with the circus group to the gang and fight with them, but the gang is much stronger than them and manages to defeat them. Bidal realizes that he needs intensive training, so he takes his teacher's book and he goes to a mountain and trains there very hard exercises in order to become a hero fighter like his mentor. And we see that he has very wonderful skills. As the days go by, Bidal wants to prove that he is the strongest fighter, and he goes to the karate school and challenges all the students and defeats them, then defeats their coach, and goes to all the karate schools and also defeats everyone, and does not stop there but travels to the other cities, challenges the players and defeats everyone, and Bidal becomes famous as the fighter who cannot be defeated, and the news about him spread in the newspaper. Then we see the Japanese officer talking about Bidal that he is not a professional and that his assistant Ryuma can defeat Vidal, and Ryuma challenges Vidal, and Vidal accepts his challenge and goes to fight him. And Ryuma is very professional and fast, and it will be a very difficult battle because Ryuma uses the sword and tries to injure Vidal, and Vidal fights him professionally, and the two heroes deal a knockout blow to each other at the same time and lose consciousness. When morning comes, Vidal is surprised that Ryuma is dead, and the police take Vidal, and we see him very depressed because he doesn't want to kill anyone. And we see that the Japanese officer very shocked because Vidal defeated Ryuma, and he goes to Vidal and tells him, I want you to challenge me with a battle to see the real fighting skills because my job is to preserve the Japanese martial arts. Then they release Vidal because he was defending himself. He immediately goes to Ryuma's wife and apologizes to her for what happened, but she is very afraid of him and takes her son and enters the house. But we see that Vidal stayed in front of the house until the morning, and when Ryuma's wife comes out, she is shocked by his presence, and Vidal gives her his karate dress and tells her that he will retire from fighting and will not leave before she forgives him. Then we see Ryuma's son in the street and a lot of boys following him because he is an orphan, and Vidal comes to help him and the boys run away, and Ryuma's son asks Vidal to take him to a mountain and teach him to fight, and Vidal already takes him, and the days pass and we see Vidal helping the family with all their work, and he becomes very happy with them. His friend Tsu comes to him and tells him that the Japanese officer wants to challenge him and that the newspaper talks about him, and they say that there is a relationship between him and Ryuma's wife, and he doesn't care about Ramos and he doesn't want to fight again, and Tsu tries to provoke him, but Vidal doesn't agree to return to fight, and Ryuma's wife hears their word and tells Vidal that the newspaper always lie and gives him back his karate uniform and asks him to accept the challenge and defeat everyone and defeat Japanese officer, and Vidal decides to fight, and on the day next he wears a karate uniform and prepares to defeat the Japanese officer, and he gets to the place of the fight, and in the beginning he fights the general's men to reach him and be a really dangerous fighter and defeat them all, and finally we reached the fight that we all waited between the general and Vidal, and the general mocks Vidal and asks him, where do you want me to bury you after I kill you? And Vidal is very serious and answers him, leaves me under the sky. And the most beautiful fight starts between them, and great fighting and imaginative moves. And if you like karate, you should watch this battle. And Vidal controls the fight with high professionalism, and quickly he hits the general, and the general falls on his knees, and Vidal is about to deal a knockout blow, but he stops at the last moment because he remembers Ryuma's death, and the general is shocked by the morals and courage of Vidal and looks at him with courage and respect. After Vidal defeats the general, he proves that he is the strongest fighter. Then he starts fighting the Poles, defeats them, breaks the horn of a pole in one fell swoop, and Vidal is the strongest fighter that no one has been able to defeat. And the movie ends after we have seen the most beautiful fights. Share your opinions in the comments, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to receive everything new. Goodbye, my friends.